apparently that very first alright that came out of my mouth was enough to, like, make the entire microphone audio clip, but then it was just normal again. That makes a lot of sense, just like everything else that I witness with any sort of regularity. But yes, it's been longer than about 10 seconds and I'm not going into a coughing or throat clearing fit, so I reckon it's probably gonna be alright. But yeah, well, thank you for the sub, Akira, who apparently has been maintaining the subs along with apparently a couple other people. Even while I'm gone, which is kind of bananas to me, but that is very much appreciated. I've been like too preoccupied with stuff that could in no way be described as productive to even address something that I probably said that I was going to a long time ago, just before I randomly disappeared because of something that continues to be a mystery. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't done with that statement. It was something I was going to say after that. Basically what I was trying to say that I completely lost track of because I'm once again massively distracted by background stuff, what else is new, is that I haven't even done the emotes that I've had like free slots for like 12 or like at least however long it's been of this year so far. Even though I actually managed to like pin down some specific ideas that I definitely wanted to do for those, but I just haven't gotten around to that. Maybe I will soon if I actually manage to do this more regularly, but this is very much an outlier situation, you might say. Let me check the audio levels too. Also, hello. Well, hello, Bern, hello, Akira, I believe I already said that, and hello, AKS. To me. Trying to figure out how to do this again. I think I'm just gonna adjust the volume on here a little bit, but yeah. I don't think I'll be doing a whole lot today. I'm just like fumbling around a bit to see if I can sorta kinda get the hang of things again. I forgot that it looked like this. After, you know, I lost all the old assets that I had for this thing on the incident. I wonder if I could, like, go afresh with, like, a completely new thing that isn't literally just a JPEG. Or maybe I could change it up, like a JPEG in place of, like, everything that actually needs to be in place. I mean, maybe I could change it up, like, let me just make sure that I have this, like, Clark Ashton Smith sculpture image. It's literally, yeah, it's literally just in the stream stuff folder. What if I were to replace it with, like, well, let me figure out which one it is first of all. What if I were to replace it with something like, I don't know. Very loud sounds of echoing aircraft. Or something like this. Oh god, I can't even see what it is because it's like much higher resolution and it blows up. And you can't see it clearly, but I can try to adjust that if I can. There. Now isn't that nice? I cannot make my mouse hover over any of these selections of other stuff that I can't even see, like what is this? Doesn't even tell me what I just selected. Oh, this is that text that's not showing up right now, which I don't think I'll do that today. I can actually do that like off my own local playlist of stuff that's in the Change VGM because I actually have that now. Or I can see where the like Kirby with headphones GIF is supposed to go. What's this? This is the alert box, which is probably gonna stay right where it is. This is what is this actually? Is this like a visible chat plugin for the Streamlabs default chat that just pops in and isn't really necessary because I have Pontificator up or whatever. But to kind of move things along, let's make this more interesting by trying to figure out how I'm going to do the thing that I'm presumably going to be trying to play today, as denoted by the metadata. which is somewhere around here. I literally just opened this to make sure I didn't need like any surprise updates. And sure enough, okay, I literally updated this like less than half an hour ago, and now it's asking me to do another one, but I guess it is in the nature of this thing. And it's not even the one that I'm actually going to be using, but whatever. It's one of those things that somehow updates like every day, at least at this point. Alright, can I open it now? Okay. Let me see if I can remember the keys for this. Okay. I think I'm gonna put this over here, that would make sense, methinks. And then I'm gonna try to make it visible, which is the tricky part. Also, yeah, Mummy the Mastered, which I think I considered putting some of this in the old VGMC, which is ongoing right now. And it's something that probably none of you know what it is, but don't worry. Something that's probably not really worth getting concerned about if you don't already know what it is. I know that I sure didn't do that for a couple of years, even after I did know what it was, but... Ooh, hold on, let me do a quick adjustment, because there's one thing that I failed to account for here. So I can just remember how to do this. Yeah, do that. Oh shit, hold on. I need to reset all of these unless I don't. I get the feeling that yeah, never mind, this is what I do need to. Need to move. This one doesn't need to be greater than 0, but this one does. There, all nice and natural and not suspect at all. And now actually we'll have to go ahead and take another quick look over here to see if there's any point in doing this. Alright, I will try to take some to quickly fade out the music of Hyrule Warriors, which will probably be my next chain submission if I manage to get, you know, Valkyrie profile actually in, and also one more Castlevania after that. If I manage to do that, the next game theoretically would be Hyrule Warriors, but let me see. I'm gonna make this work, presumably. Hope that I can make this work more like. Just let it play out, not even press anything, and see where we leave. Okay, I think we do have a little bit of extra chaff on the top and bottom there that I need to press. At first I will, yeah, I guess I can, hold on. Oh, whoops. I'll try to move on to a different screen and okay, stop everything while it's, I guess, briefly bring back the music for a second while I'm doing this. Use that as the baseline so that I can, that's the wrong thing. Can adjust the numbers on this thing and there, perfect. And now I will interrupt this completely again so that I can play this. So yeah, this is Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, which, as you can probably appreciate, is being played on a completely legitimate medium. And which is a game that I actually have played on a completely legitimate medium for plenty a year. I don't remember exactly when I got this, but I'm pretty sure it was far enough ago that it basically was responsible for the entirety of my interest in any of the mainline Final Fantasy games. Maybe a couple of exceptions that I technically interacted with beforehand, and the fact that it predates me playing through basically any of the mainline Final Fantasy games should be enough of an indicator to tell you how long ago I actually played this for the first time, but it's actually the second of two Theatrhythm games that exist, at least on 3DS. I think they made like an arcade version later, but yeah, it sure is a rhythm game that typically you're gonna be playing with the touchscreen, but I'm playing it with a controller for no particular reason. And you got like 5 daily songs that you can do to like get more points that let you basically unlock shit. And I think I will do that first to basically get a start on this. I haven't played this in like several weeks, so I put like 60 or something hours into it beforehand, so I have no idea how I'm gonna do. And there's also these random slowdowns that happen sometimes, which only serve as further proof of how legitimate this medium is that I'm playing it on. And I probably shouldn't be talking about trying to follow the rhythm, but you know me, I'm full of good ideas. It's probably kind of quiet actually compared to everything else. That's something I noticed, like I think the actual music in these stages is actually kind of quiet compared to basically everything else. Up to and including the music in the menus and the sound effects. So I can't really look away from the screen right now, but I kind of reckon that's the case. I'll try to adjust it a little bit later. Well, I can try to like avert my gaze for a little bit, because I technically have the chat open in like 2 places. I can find like 1 second in which to do that. I can try to find out what's going on. Final Fantasy games does this have the music for? Actually, I think it has set for all of the mainline numbered ones until like up to like 14. Go figure. And it has a bunch of other ones as well, but actually for this stream, and probably for this stream only, I have the bot command request open, as you can see in the title of the stream, which will link you to the wiki page, which should have all of the tracks in this game. And if you have like any particular ideas for something that you would like to see me do, then you can just mention that. Just starting off with You Are Not Alone, which plays for like 1 scene in Final Fantasy IX, which is actually kind of fitting because typically the what should we call it, the games from each like generation of Final Fantasy, so to speak, at least the mainline numbered ones, that oh shit. I say oh shit because I need to change a little something about my loadout here, because of course, because this is a Final Fantasy spin-off, it's not just a rhythm game. There's a bunch of extra stuff that you can do in it with RPG elements and what have you. But yeah, there sure are a lot. Also, hello gamer guys 347. Played this game since it came out. I played every song on Ultimate. I don't know exactly when this game came out, but I want to say that I also played it like played it for quite a few years. I want to say must have been at least 6 years ago or something that I got it for the first time. Maybe a little later or earlier. I don't really remember. Probably earlier actually, but played the hell out of it on the 3DS, and now I am still playing it on a somewhat different medium. There's 4 of 9 tracks that are on the Chase playlist and could come up that I haven't played yet. There are 100% nowhere in there. Wonder what they could be. I want to imagine that it's not, they wouldn't be tracks that I would have any trouble recognizing since... Oh shit. Actually no, this is a metal stage, it's fine. I thought I needed to change my team because it does affect certain things, and there's like an ideal team you can use for battle stages, because those are like the 2 types in this game. They look like this, and then the last one that we did was a field stage, and depending on like how well you do, you can get like more drops and what have you, and yeah, there's like a whole thing. There's also the Final Fantasy Picross game that I played through recently on this also very legitimate medium, which, you know, because it's a Final Fantasy spin-off, it's not just a Picross game, there's like battles and shit. It's actually way deeper than I was ever anticipating, but that does seem to be a theme. Like, I guess you could say the same about The City as well. It's another spin-off that's... It's not just a fighting game, there's loadouts and RPG shit that you gotta consider when you do anything in that game. Let's see if I can take this moment to finish a thought that I've been completely failing to finish for like the last 5 minutes, which is that out of every generation of Final Fantasy, I think Out of the first three, 3 has my favorite music, and then out of 4, 5, and 6, it's 5, and then out of 7, 8, and 9, it's 9. And I don't know what I would say after that, honestly. I guess you could consider 10, 11, and 12 like the PS2 generation, but I don't know if I would have like any opinions of that sort for the music on those games. Guess I just never really got that much into any of those. But yeah, what I think I'll do for now is just finish up all of the dailies that I've got up right now. And after that, maybe I'll try to do like the final daily on the Ultimate, just to try to get acclimated to that, because something that you pretty much will have to learn to do in this game if you want to like unlock all the characters is to go through a bunch of tracks on Ultimate without fucking up too much because of that mode that you go through. That's like tracks arranged in like an adventure mode, where you keep the same amount of health from track to track unless you use items and what have you, but I don't like to do that because what kind of nerd uses items in an RPG? Gotta have to hoard all these 99 potions until the day I die. What if there's like a super secret boss that I run across that the only way to beat it is to have exactly 99 potions in your inventory? Can't neglect that possibility. Ooh. I think this strike's about to wrap up, so I'll take this opportunity to actually do that thing I said I was going to do before and turn up the volume on the game a little bit. There, I think that should be good. And yeah, you fill the critical chart, all this stuff. Get graded. And I think there was like one more track from this game, from 13. That was also marked as a daily. Gabra Whitewood. Whoops. Damn it, I forgot that was the button that I wanted to press in that situation. What I actually want to do is select it first so that then I can actually press the X button and go to my party. There we go. If I can remember like who the best people are for the field stages. I think one of them, like the one that has to be the leader, is Riku. And after that it's the ones that give you like the best luck stuffs. Oh, I may or may not actually have, I think, luck is one of them. And after that it's like, what was it? I don't remember. I think Sedan, yeah, Treasure Hunter, stuff that's like site level 3 actually. No, I think site level 3 is what we want, because that like maximizes your chances of getting the like the best drop at the end. So I think luck is supposed to have that too. They all are, yeah. We're looking for like the one other character that has site level 3, I don't remember who it was though. Prish? No. Was it someone from 11? I don't think it was. Always have to keep changing knowledge and play your playlist more separable. FF2 Strikes of Filler the weakest. I haven't played FF2 since the PSP release though. But the FF Legend collection. I've actually played like the original like Famicom FF2 some years back. It was like a translated ROM hack, and yeah, that sure was a game that was interesting to get through. And there's this too that I'm pretty sure the only real way to unlock him is to go through a bunch of the quest medleys, which give you like up to 1 block shard at a time. So you have to do a lot of them. It's not even guaranteed that you will get that. Is it you? Yeah, maybe it's you. Okay, we have sight, so it's Sarah from 13 too. That's the other character that I was failing to remember. Okay, I think we're good now. I mean, Sarah's in this game too, but you get like a little bonus. I guess I'll try to open that score just to see how we fare. You get like a little bonus if you play like at least one character from the game that the song is from, but I think Sarah is branded as only being from 13 too, because she's like the protagonist of that game. I don't think it'll count, unfortunately. See if I can hear the music better, because like ultimate scores where it stops fucking around. And it's like, yeah, it's not quite up to the level where you see something like, check this insane video of the insanest rhythm game charts ever or anything like that, but it's enough to make you be like, god damn it, how do I get out of this? I don't know if that's gonna apply to this track though, it seems kind of tame so far. I say yes, you might be able to hear like the clacking of my controller, probably a little bit louder than the music itself. Ooh. And there's like a bunch of mechanics in this game that I could like try to briefly explain, like the chocobo thing, which is determined by like how well you do during that feature zone, but I mean, it's not terribly important if you're not concerned with trying to actually be playing the game and like unlocking certain things. I suppose I kind of should be, but for that reason I kind of am the one that doesn't need the explanation. I'm actually surprised that none of these like diagonal arrows in the green sections that point backwards haven't fucked me up yet, because they usually do. Especially it's like really awkward to try to do that motion. To go like up and down, especially in the controller. Might be a little bit easier on the touchscreen, I don't remember. Okay, there you go, that wasn't too bad. A total of 300 criticals, just an ultimate scores, and just good at it. I see. I don't think I got very many old criticals on ultimate scores. But I do remember, I don't know, a little bit better on average on the touchscreen than I do on the controller. Okay, I was just watching somebody do a speedrun of this game earlier today before that same person started playing Final Fantasy IV for the first time. I guess I'll be daring and do, oh, I should have switched to the battle team, but whatever. It's not terribly important right now. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try to do all of the scores and ultimate at this point. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it. I don't know if I need to mention it, but I just feel the need to verbalize all my thoughts when I'm streaming. I wonder why. Probably be awfully quiet otherwise. Turn the volume up on this. For myself on the stream. Nice. Goodness, I'm sorry I can't look right now. I tried to look anyway, which is why that happened. But I'll get to weather just for just a second. At least it doesn't get into the point where I fuck up so much during the feature zone on the battle tracks that it summons a chocobo instead, because that's a thing that I can probably explain very briefly, which is that each character who has a party leader has like a specific summon that they can get, but if you fuck up too much, that changes to a chocobo, which is the weakest one. Alright. Probably an acceptable outcome, all things considered. And the follow was from Shelbo. Thank you for the follow, Shelbo. Op user doing alright. That is typically where the characters would like level up and stuff, but specifically using characters that I already have maxed out because I want to try to maximize the sort of quote-unquote profit output that I get from all these tracks as much as I can. I think this is the last one, so let's see. Oh shit, I did it again. I need to actually press the thing before I press that button. This is, in fact, a battle run, so Pretty sure that if you're doing like a battle build team, you want someone with Knights of the Round as the leader because that's the strongest summon, I'm pretty sure. Let's see if I can remember who else was on this team that I was literally doing at the beginning of this. It's Cloud, it's Pain, it's Boron, and I think it's Zack over there at the end. Yeah. Or number 1, because there's 2 versions of Boron. Get the DLC, which I totally did, totally in a legitimate fashion. I don't remember it's the I guess Agrius is not from FT, it's not DLC, but Orlando is. If I haven't actually used Orlando at all, I don't think that he really has the same game breaker properties in this game that he does in his game of origin, though. Now let's do this one. Actually, we're gonna get a little bit of extra points because Pain is from this game, and I'm pretty sure only from this game. But I still haven't played. You would not believe the backlog of like stuff that I have just in general, but also just the amount of Final Fantasy related stuff that I've either left unfinished or just never touched. They're more like at least start up again. And the way that 10-2 kind of fits into that is that I told myself that probably not gonna try to start 10-2 until after I finish a round that I started on the called the HD version of Final Fantasy X. I actually got pretty far into that run. I got as far as like just before the every boss. And then I just kind of stopped. Go back to it at any time, but with so many other completely inconsequential projects to go through, probably take me a while to get there. Everything else I've done, I guess, is start yet another run of Final Fantasy V and told myself, yeah, I'll totally finish it this time. It's even another game where I didn't really have any good reason to stop where I did, other than didn't want to keep grinding too much. I'm pretty sure the farthest I ever got in Final Fantasy V was like just before you go to Exit's castle in the second world. Alright. Is this mean we're gonna die from the repeating triggering abilities and the end? No, I guess not. I'm actually not entirely convinced, or I don't think I entirely understand how the abilities work, to be honest, the reactive ones, like if they just keep on activating visually, but you're not like doing any notes anymore, will they actually do anything, or do they activate only as quickly as you hit the notes and like the visuals are just whatchamacallit, something that's not accurate, but alright, I think it's time for Under the Weight, which is also a battle track which means I don't have to switch around. Yeah, but the music in this game, yep, they sure do. And I don't know if you look at the VGMC stuff at all, Aguilar, but I actually nominated for the Fantasy Tactics track for that this year, and I think it's had like 3 supports so far, which is like half as many as it needs to get locked in during like the first week of that. I don't know if it will, but I hope it will. Track was Precipitous Combat, which is in this game. Probably do it after this one. The alarm by the slowdown that is totally characteristic of this perfectly legitimate medium that I'm using to play this. I mean, you know what, I don't even need to do that stupid shtick for this game because, okay, it's an emulator, that's fucking obvious by the way that I've referred to it, but I also own the game for real, so there's literally no reason why that should be like taboo for me to say. I'm just fucking around when I say that. this game on physical, and also the like 5-track CD that came with it, which is some of the remixes I play in like the menu. We heard from some folks that there is no Final Fantasy VII remix, like the world map theme, or just overworld walking around theme from that game. A remix of that takes place when you're in like the, what's it called? You're just sneaking around in the first part of the quest at least. And I think I heard someone say that that specific remix apparently like came from another game before this one, but I don't even know if that's true or what that game would be. But yeah, turns out that this game has more than enough original remixes to be like a not Microsoft Chase submission. Just feel a modest playlist. I'm honestly surprised that I'm doing like as not terribly as I'm doing when I'm trying to like talk over this, but I mean, I'm definitely not getting crazy scores either or anything. If I keep doing like just the critical ones, the ultimate scores, probably won't get like any perfect change or anything either, but oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you had to I think I just saw a demonstration in that critical chat that I was sure if you had to like get every note in a certain section perfect for it to get registered as a perfect in the totals chart, but I don't think you do. That's nice. So that was on the wait, I think. All of the, basically all the tactics tracks are battle tracks. Apparently I'm wrong. No, there's Prologue, which is this the one that I think it is? Yes, it is. Prologue is actually one of my favorite tracks from this game as well. I think I know what all of these are, just from looking at them, except Trisection, which is called Answers here for some reason. Go figure. Like, hold on just a second. I'm gonna stop the music from this so I can find that thing here. I can probably play it right here on this, on iTunes. I look for it here. It's probably gonna show up. I have to play stuff off of iTunes when I'm doing the stream because for some reason it the plugin that I use to show what song is currently playing, which is Snip, doesn't really seem like it's that versatile as far as stuff that it will be able to pull from. So a Trisection. Yes, clear songs. Just play it. Yeah, there you go. Well, this is definitely called Trisection. I think pretty much everybody calls it that, and yet this one game calls it Answers. Go figure. And actually, I only got an A rank in that one. I wonder why. Let's take a look and maybe I'll find out. And I guess I shouldn't be complaining that I get like at least an S in all of these, even in ultimate scores, but you know, I'm pretty sure I actually turned down the sound effects so that it wouldn't be louder than the music in this, and yet still just kind of quiet overall, at least on my end. That thought just crossed my mind because I'm actually kind of curious as to whether or not if I were to be able to push this to YouTube, which I don't think I was able to do that for a while. It kind of stopped working for some reason. But if I were to do that, see if any of that would get picked up by the copyright robots. I think chances are pretty good, honestly, even with all the stuff that's layered on top of it. After the big bomb is gonna eat the summon attack. think the big bomb was the boss too, right? Wasn't it? Like in each of these battle stages, like whatever monster does like the big spooky roaring effect is the boss, and it's like sort of implicitly your main objective is to do enough damage to beat that thing before the song ends. So it's a lot more important in quest medleys than it is in like normal stages. Once again, unless you're looking to you're looking to like farm as many items as possible, which I kind of am, but it's not paying terribly much attention to where that's going right now. You can do some like weird min-maxed loadouts in this game for, in theory, being able to go through as many stages as you want without having to really press anything. I haven't really managed to do that for the ones that would theoretically work for the majority of stages, but there is one low level I'm pretty sure I managed to pull off for one Final Fantasy IV track. That's not really for farming anything, just for getting to the end and getting like free rhythm at this points that just can add up over time. And give you random stuff. They don't really give you anything important, I don't think, after you get like 100,000 of them, which I already have. But if you're to farm that, I'm pretty sure you can. I guess we can do one or two more of these, I don't know. The opening is sure a thing. It's one of those weird cinematic stages, I guess I'll do that just to show it off too. But it's these stages which for some reason they were in the first Theatrhythm game as well, but they were a lot easier to actually get the input recognition in that game versus this one, where I turned it up a bit on my end. This one is just a lot more finicky for some reason. I'm pretty sure the original version of the game, at least, of Tactics didn't have a whole lot of cinematics. Only like the one at the beginning when you start the game and the one at the ending. Maybe they added more in War of the Lions, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that most of what I'm seeing here is not stuff that I recognize from the version I played with the 7. Shit. And if you do badly during this part, which I think I might have just been doomed into, you don't get to play the final section, they just cut you up there. So yeah, not really that great. Still not confusing having two songs named answers in here, well. I don't know if there's anything else, like I said, that calls trisection answers, but... I might do another one. Let's get the Precipitous Combat, which is the one that I put in BGMC, which hopefully we'll get in. There's one very specific track from Tactics that actually caught my attention that I don't think comes up very often. I guess tracks people like from that game. But I don't want to say what it is at this point, because it might cause some spoilers for a thing that may or may not happen in the near future. Which may not even affect anyone for that's actually watches the stream, but... I am reluctant to kind of leave that in an easily accessible public record anyway. I'm sure it sounds completely innocent when I say it like that, and it is. Let's play the game of figuring out which of my statements are actually sarcasm. But yeah, that's something that I don't think I mentioned to like everyone. Of a certain... Oh shit. Well, I can see why I didn't get a very high score in this one. But yeah, something that I kind of failed to mention to a whole lot of people, even though... There's probably certain other people that would have been interested in that, is that I actually did go through the Fantasy Tactics again recently, after like 8 years ago when a certain someone let me try it. Back on the fucking headbox, and I only went through like a handful of battles before I just kind of threw in the towel. So used to battling in that genre, and I still kind of am, to be honest, but went back to it recently and actually managed to go through the whole thing. Helped that I actually had that antecedent of experience, and also just more preparation in general. And yeah, it was neato. Actually, what else to say? It was neato, but I feel like it also doesn't necessarily prepare me for any other games in the same genre, but that's something that I'll probably look into on my own later. And then there's this... hold on. This one is the first Ultima track, right? Not the second one. Maybe? I don't remember what the second one sounds like, but no, I'm fairly sure this is the first one. And I apparently never played this one in Ultimate, so might as well give it a try right now. How bad could it be? What could possibly go wrong? You know, you notice how when you go into an actual stage in this game, the backgrounds, they have actually tried to reference the games that they're originally from and the scenes a lot of the time that they're originally from. I had no idea what the hell was going on here in the background of this one until, you know, I actually played the game. Played FFT and actually got to the end. And now I do. Still, like, not something that I would necessarily be able to explain very clearly if I try to, but I at least have a pretty good idea of what I'm looking at. I guess I shouldn't be too paranoid about this one, because I'm pretty sure even after the turn down settings. Okay, apparently Sander's the boss in this stage, even though we literally have an Ultima enemy as we saw in the previous track. And Ultima is literally the enemy that you're fighting in this stage in the game, in FFT. But I'm forced to assume by the fact that she didn't even show up after the boss that she's not going to show up at all. I think the difficulty of Ultimate Scores is a little more nerve-wracking when you're actually doing the quest medleys and you're doing like stuff in such a way that you're actually worried that you don't want to take damage, because all of that is going to be conserved from one stage to the next. It's a little more relaxed when you're just doing random tracks. Look at that, I actually got a perfect chain. Didn't think I got that. I was a little more surprised by the fact that I got above an S on an Ultimate track. Now, speaking of Ultimate tracks in this game that I remember doing well in, despite sort of implicit expectation to the contrary. And because I brought this up earlier, I'm going to go back to Final Fantasy IV and do the track that, well, it's not going to be down here, but whatchamacallit, so the battle tracks are up here. One that I will always pick when doing like the online battle mode in this game, because that exists. So I just imagine that the other person isn't gonna know it as well, and it's gonna get screwy. Oh god. I wonder if I should show off the battle mode. I feel like that could get very screwy. Wish I could do that briefly, but I have absolutely no guarantees that what happens when I try to do that will be in any way pleasant to look at. feel like I was about to try to say something else during this very brief respite. But I completely forgot what it was, so... That part. It's the one I remember, and the one that's like most likely to trip you up if you don't have it memorized. I barely got through it, I think, without breaking the chain that time. I'm not actually sure how realistic it is to expect to try to do this Dragon Ultimate and like all the enemies handling the boss without having like an optimized team, because as you kind of saw, you have to kill all the 4 fiends and then go this at the end in an encounter, which I'm pretty sure doesn't have any kind of equivalent in Final Fantasy IV. I'm pretty sure there isn't any battle in that game where you fight, like I do remember one battle where you fight all the 4 fiends in a row, but I don't think you have to fight all this at the end without interrupting. I shouldn't even remember if you have to like fight Golbez in an actual, like for real fight in FF4 at any moment. And by for real fight I mean like not cutscene fights. Maybe? I really don't remember. Yeah, why don't I try versus mode a little bit? You know, because this isn't... I'm not sure if it's impossible or not, but I'm pretty sure online battle and, you know, battle against actual humans isn't gonna work. But you can still do all the stuff versus AI. I already did, but you can like redo the weapon classes many times if you want. I think other classes as well, but this is pretty much a mode that teaches you how to approach the game with the mentality that you have to do everything perfectly. Of the clusterfuck that it actually is, as you're about to see here, I'm sure. And you kind of get the gist of it, which is you're trying to get a higher score than the other team, but then this shit happens. Oh, that was like the weak sauce one, actually. Don't gotta worry about that one. These expert burst effects. There's shit like this, which is like the worst because it makes, as the name implies, it gets the fighting game become a lot judgier when it comes to with how it judges if you did it right or not, and then there's super speed, which is pretty self-explanatory. I wonder if I'll actually be able to pull this off. But I can make no promises. Like, oh shit. I'm pretty sure we were behind for most of that, but I guess managed to just barely edge it out in the end. And I didn't really realize this at first, but I'm pretty sure that what we're hearing right now is actually another remix from FFT, which is like the end of battle victory theme from that game. And that's pretty fitting, I would think. And I mean, this one's just like the generic victory fanfare. There's a lot of remixes you can listen for if you just go to the menus of this. Like this one is from Type 0, I think. Yeah. Type 0, which it's pretty unclear if you'll actually be able to get into the chase, but if it does, then I think it would be pretty easy for people to realize that there's like 2 or 3 motifs that are pretty much repeated in every track in that game. It would be pretty easy to identify the game, at least, if you were to remember those. Guess I can try something from 5, since that's the other game I'm technically going through right now. All the way there. It's actually one of my favorite tracks, just of video game music, period, all time. And I can somehow not believe that I haven't tried it on Ultimate Score in this game yet, at least on this iteration of the game. Not to interrupt the thing I've done out here. Trying to think of something to say. But you might imagine I might be surprised to see Gilgamesh being shown at the boss, as the boss here and not X-Death. Also surprised that I somehow got the Chocobo, even though I really feel that I didn't fuck up during that feature song. It's very fickle, like I feel like sometimes it gives you the Chocobo if you get a miss, or sometimes it gives you the Chocobo even if you only get like a bunch of goods, which is the highest, or lowest actually, score you can get without it being a miss. As you might be able to notice when it starts to do like a bunch of weird stuff with alternating the arrow triggers, that's the thing that's most likely to trip me up in this game. And also the random slowdowns, but not much I can do about that. What you can get so that you can actually when it comes to this, so that I can actually play this on stream, which I was actually wanting to for a long time, so very nice. That's at least something that I'm able to do, or have been able to do. But there we go, just barely missed out on the, actually no I didn't. I was gonna say just barely missed out on the double S, but I think I just barely got the S on this. I don't remember what the threshold is actually, I think. I'm pretty sure the threshold for triple S is like, it has to be 975 all the way on the left, and then the threshold for double S is, it has to be a 9 all the way on the left. And I think the threshold for S is just 7 million. I think 8 really would have made a difference. But there you go. Oh jeez, need to like stretch a little bit. I am doing just as good of a job as I ever did in having terrible posture and constricting myself while I do this. I reckon this will. So, it's right here. And drink. Also, probably not leave the thing in a spot where it's gonna just keep on playing the same things over and over. You might be wondering why I have a D on this. It's because I'm pretty sure I was testing one of my loadouts of... I'd see if I could do one of the battle tracks without pressing anything and still get stuff, and... didn't work quite as well as expected. I still had to intervene. That's why I have D and not F. Let's try to just do the normal battle theme. See how that fares. From Final Fantasy V. 5 and 9, I'm pretty sure were two games in particular that I wanted to highlight if I did this. No, I feel like I was about to say something like the enemy selection that we see on the left on 5 is particularly fitting because all of these look like stuff they would actually fight in 5. Except maybe the Iron Giant. If the Iron Giant shows up in 5, then I definitely haven't gotten far enough to see it. I think actually off the top of my head the only two games that I can remember clearly that I have played where the Iron Giants show up are Final Fantasy II, where they show up in the final dungeon, and Final Fantasy X, where they show up in Thunder Plains, I think. Not sure how they fare in the other games. Okay, this time I'm not surprised I got the trouble one, actually. I saw myself fuck up. It might clear me. Alright. Guess it's something that you're gonna see quite a good bit in this game. You try to pick any of the like regular battle themes. Probably gonna loop a few times just because of the nature of them being not very short loops. Them actually being very short loops. I'm pretty sure that I said that backwards. Alright, give me like 1 second. Just gotta... Alrighty. What else can I do? Well, I've done a few fun... Temple on the Big Bridge, but I'll do that a few times. I'm decisive battle. And rarity field, I somehow haven't done In Search of Light. I guess I'm gonna try to exhaust the battle ones first though, so I don't have to switch the team around that many times. Darkness of Eternity. This is Eternity. Well, see, here's another kind of weird thing. I'm pretty sure this strike is known almost everywhere as the Dark Messenger, not Darkness of Eternity. If anything, I would say the final battle would be Darkness of Eternity, because that's, you know, the character that that quote actually comes from. And then there's something to do. I'm actually not sure. This one I know is something to protect and protecting my devotion. Let me see if I go to my actual soundtrack rips that I have on here. Where's 9? Some of the tracks doesn't have it. Okay. It's called Protecting My Devotion in this rip, which I think is maybe not even necessarily a rip, but a soundtrack album. I don't quite remember where I got these. I feel like that technically would be a rip. And it's also got like the Doga and like the extra tracks that you can play in Black Mage Village, which I don't think are included in the actual official soundtrack. Maybe it's like a weird fusion of that, but I think that came from so far anyway. take a Hunter's Chance, Art of Fury, Feel My Blade, yeah. So many of these have alternative names, unsurprisingly. Well, let's actually do something. Let's do these two, I guess. Start with Dark Messenger. And maybe go through the others as well. I wasn't expecting the first note to come that early. I was being fickle. And looking away for just a moment. And there's, you know, the old Queen rip-off beat. Got mad at that. I lost a beat there, speaking of that. Well, that's also one of the hardest things that we can be given in this game. You just throw a bunch of the little red notes at you at the same speed, but it's kind of hard to keep up that speed when there's so many of them. They actually got the boss at this place for this track. I mean, I guess it makes some degree of sense to have an idea of a 5-track, specifically place when you're doing the boss fights against X-Death before the final battle. Could not have X-Death there, but instead have him as the boss, presumably of the actual final battle track, because you also fight him there. It's not even like the normal form of X-Death. It does make more sense, I guess, to have, actually have Transculia here. Because I'm pretty sure Necron is also an enemy that can show up, so I expect he would show up if we do the final battle. Ooh, fuck. Of course, I'm not sure like how close I would be to like perfect chaining this if I wasn't getting these few misses, but I suspect not even that close. Sometimes the slowdown comes like at a somewhat convenient time, where it doesn't actually affect anything, but sometimes it doesn't. I feel like opportunities for that to happen would be better in the field tracks, because you get to bring both the green slide notes there, because that's part of the gimmick. And for those tracks, I do have to like actually move them up and down. Oh, well, we got a Sid collect card. I wonder which Sid that would be. Sounded like 15 of them. And yeah, how many tracks do I have for this game that I haven't done in a lot in Ultimate? Actually not that many, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do I want to do all of these in Battle 2? Maybe not Battle 2, maybe we can skip this too. Guess I'll do Swords of Fury and then something to protect and finish it off with Final Battle before I move on to the field tracks. Just gotta do that for a bit. Well, my throat is still doing weird things, which is actually... There's been a few updates in that situation. It appears that I don't have asthma after all, nor do I have any infections, but in light of that, it becomes a lot harder to explain why I've had, like, chronic pharynx inflammation for like 4 months now, or more. Right now we're just doing some stuff to figure out if any of that has to do with like subconscious or undetected reflux problems or something like that. I really don't know what to expect, but Something else that I'm pretty sure has been going on, it's just that it's been winding down. That's the actual information, so maybe it'll just actually end up going away on its own. It just took it like several months to get to that point, which is really annoying, but I mean, if that's what it comes to and it actually finishes going away, I'll take it. Oh shit. Once again I looked away from it because I was facetious and wasn't expecting the notes to start appearing that quickly. Trigger them, then I'm really gonna get to like this rank for this one. Well, I guess Doomgaze is in this game, but it's completely different appearance from the Lighthouse in 6, which is what we're seeing right now. And I'm pretty sure that it also has nothing to do with this track and the times at which it plays. So that part I can't explain. Okay, I guess we did get to S rank. At least, not very far into S rank, going up to double S rank, but even so, I feel like this is pretty much the, yeah, I'll take it, it's good enough kind of thing that I'm going to expect for going through stuff right now. Yeah, maybe one of these days I could try, like, actually grabbing a knife, copy of this game and doing a bit of the old touchscreen gameplay and see if I can adjust to that again. I don't know. Let's do this one. Track that I don't think has played in the change, but I kinda wish it would. It's definitely be a track that I would want to play. The fact that it shares a motif with another pretty well-known track from this game, which I don't remember if it's here too. Just that fact would really make it pretty recognizable, I would expect. Sometimes I feel like I don't know how anyone else thinks that plays a chaser, and that's not surprising. I feel like that happens with other people who like video game music in general. We live in the same planet. There's no way to not trigger the like the full force of the attack of whatever summon has showed up after it has shown up at least. We don't gotta worry too much about it once that happens. Also work from outside. Just like in very many other places around this place than that. Lots and lots of doggos that will probably see if you go out during the evening. And will probably be more noticeable if you are out because you're walking your own doggo like I was. There's actually like a building kind of close to where I start turning around to go back home when I take my dog out in the night. That's these past couple of days that I passed through there. I noticed that someone had left like a couple of medicine boxes, which I think were empty, dumped out on the ground, and actually looked at the name on those and... oh, hold on. figure out what the fuck is going on here first. Kind of an awkward time for to get to that point in the story. Maybe we'll do something where to get to the feature zone, I don't know. Oh, this would have been a good time, but I didn't know this was gonna be that long. Hold on. I just have to take the L. Saying that I feel I have lived by more often than not recently. Oh, I completely forgot about that thing. I missed my opportunity, or whatever. Probably like a minute or so. Oh, shit. And I just barely didn't make it to the halfway point between single S and double S. What a development, but yeah. I remember what I was trying to say before, you know, everything happened with this track. It's a very good track, but I feel like that is definitely one of the crazier charts that you'll find in this game. Okay, what was I? So I was taking my dog out these past couple of days, basically. I saw this thing, I saw that someone had dumped out couple of empty medicine boxes outside the house, and I actually looked at them when I was passing by to see what they were. And I looked it up later, and apparently it was for treating something called hepatic encephalopathy. It is apparently some kind of liver disease that affects, or just a condition when liver disease affects the mental processes. So I wonder what's going on there. I have to wonder. But I couldn't help but notice that there's like not nearly as many tracks, at least field tracks in FF5 that I haven't actually already played through in the higher difficulties. Maybe I could do Final Battle. What else haven't I done in Ultimate Dawn Warriors? I feel like Dawn Warriors is one of the rare FF5 tracks that I'm not nearly as familiar with. Maybe I'll pass on that one. Let's try Final Battle. Maybe this time next death will actually show up. But first we're gonna see these weird knight statues with no bottom. For some reason are featured prominently in like all of the... well, maybe not all of them, but for some reason they're like among the specific enemies from this game chosen to appear in this, even though I don't think they're really that notable in the actual game that they're from. Instead of apparently being involved in one of the faster EP grinding spots in the game. He's done in his giant original / mutated tree form, which is what you actually see him as when you do the final battle of this game, or so I am led to believe, because once again I've never actually gotten to the end of this game. So I have Vox Populi to rely on for that part of it. I think I got that lesson. I think I also somehow managed to get a perfect chain, even though it almost broke at the end. Well, yes, both of these things are true, it seems. Chain was perfect. And it was unexpected, and it was also good enough for something in the higher difficulty in this game, I dare say. Let me take a look at the limits real much. What I've left to do from these games. Apparently, there's been a lot done already to the point that I haven't not played any of the field songs from 9 and the higher difficulties in field mode either. That's unexpected. Wait, I want 6, I only got 5. Guess I could try again. I could try this one to start on. I think I'll just switch to like the field mode team. So I can do a few other tracks in that mode. And I remember all the ones that were in there. It was Her, it was Locke, it was Ishtala, and it was Sarah. I think it's like all the way at the end. Oh yeah, this like crossed my mind very briefly when I don't remember if it was when I was selecting this team before or when I did it for team track before, but I did actually download the trial version of FF14 recently. I have no idea if it'll get played anytime soon though. Just because it's yet again my backlog is filled with a bunch of other stuff and also a bunch of other Final Fantasy related stuff that isn't that. But that's certainly a thing that can potentially occur in the future. Whether or not that will have anything to do with the stream, I really don't know, nor would I want to give any indication that it necessarily would, but yeah, I mean, I reckon that at least the first time that I try that, it won't. After that, who knows? Depends on whether or not I can even, you know, re-establish a good streaming rhythm again. Some changes regarding that in the near future, but first I have to get a few more things done. I'm pretty sure this is the blue difficulty, which is standard mode, or as they call it, expert mode, which is really the normal mode. I should be expecting to get a much higher score in this one. Should be wincing whenever one of these notes is marked as great and not critical. Like right there. I'm sure getting all critical on the feature mode. On field stages is the only way to get a white chocobo, which is the fastest one. Doesn't really matter, I'm not actually sure how much it matters, like how much distance you cover in these stages, but I think that gets translated into experience, so in that sense it doesn't matter all that much. So I have everyone on the team maxed out, but it also increases the chances that you get of, you know, having that happen, where you just run into a character and get an extra item. And I didn't quite manage to get to triple S, but got pretty close at least. I'm pretty sure it needs to be, like I said, 975 all the way on the left, not 971 or 0. What if you do somehow manage to do that? Which is not really as hard as I want to, I guess I'm implicitly making it sound. Especially if you play on touchscreen, I think. But if you manage to get critical on every single note on the stage, that gets counted as all critical, which is all 9s, 7 9s. So 10 million minus 1. And I guess it's time to just look over all of these and see if, like all the early Final Fantasies, and see if there's anything that I would want to do on. I haven't done, I guess. There's Castle Cornelia from Origins, I'm forced to assume. I'm pretty sure that's what all of the non-NES tracks are in Final Fantasy 1 and 2 in these games. They're from the Origins versions, which I think came out on PlayStation. Oh shit. Ooh. Oh, let's try that again, because I'm pretty sure it just lagged out right at the beginning. There we go. I looked away for a moment, and that's what I get for trying to do that during what I think is an ultimate score. Really sure. At least in the field scores you can fuck up once before, without having your lead character, your party leader, get kicked out and be replaced by others in different position and so forth. That's what happens if you keep on fucking up. You do it twice in a row, or just twice cumulatively, actually. And whoever you have out gets replaced with whoever's next in line, and you can loop all the way around. Only you don't die, which I don't think you would from just 8 mistakes. We're like so close to the end, it probably doesn't matter at this point. I'm pretty sure if we do field stages with this team, we want to keep Riku on the lead pretty much at all times, because he has the highest base speed. Oh well. At least now I don't have to feel bad about like the one miss that I got way back when. Thinking that, hey, if I hadn't done that miss, then I would have done a perfect chain, but whatever. What else shall I do? Are there any field tracks from 2 from Final Fantasy 2? Well, yes, there sure are. Dungeon, town... And I played this entire game years ago, like I said, and I beat it legitimately, but... Oh god. I don't know if I want to listen to Chocobo theme for the entire length of the stage, actually, because this is the shortest loop. This is the first game in which this theme was used, so it's the shortest loop imaginable. That's it. It's like a 7-second loop or something like that. I don't think I want to see it extended to the extent that it will be. Where's the main theme again? Is it... Oh, it's just like the overall theme. Town is town. I guess I could give that a try. I wonder how this will sound. I'm pretty sure the Origins version of this actually changes tempo after it's on the loop a couple times. I don't think this version will, but in light of that, I'm kind of interested to see what they will do to like keep the chart going after a couple tenths of seconds. I don't know. Yeah. Moving along a little bit faster faster than some of the other field stages, which is, you know, very understandable because of what I said. It's also kind of easy for an ultimate chart. If not for the random slowdowns. Maybe that's part of the challenge. Maybe they anticipated that I would play it this way. And they built that into it. It's like, surprise, you thought the stupid debuffs from battle mode? Oh, there you go, that perfect trouble. You thought the stupid debuffs from battle mode would be confined only to that? Well, no. Actually, that's even true even if you don't consider that stupid joke that I'm trying to make, which is... if you go into one of the field stages, there's a pretty sure a low chance that any one of the, well, the quest medleys, not the field stages, any of the field stages that you find in the quest medleys will have the monster buff thing randomly applied to them for like 30 seconds or something. Where I don't think that showed up during the battle mode demo that I did, but basically all these stupid arrow triggers rotate, so you have to match them to the position that they would be in when they actually hit the note receiver. I don't know what to call it, but the thing that the notes have to be, where when you push the button to actually, you know, count them. I change the volume just a little bit more, it might be a little louder than I thought. I don't think it would be that much of a difference though, hopefully, but let me see. I'll do the other ones here. Dungeon and Imperial Army. I'm pretty sure Imperial Army actually plays during a couple of the dungeons, so my vague memory. Maybe it plays during the Typhoon thingy, Maelstrom. I always forget the name, but like the giant tornado that shows up near the end of the game. Where you actually have to go into, and there's like a spooky fortress inside the tornado, and that's where you kill the Emperor. Which is not the end of the game, you know. And countermand the fact that I probably just casually shut out a spoiler by telling you that it's not nearly as much of a spoiler as you would think. Okay, pretty sure I just barely missed getting the old critical on the feature song, but whatever. Oh shit. Oh, once again we lost Riku, but we were so close to the end of the track that it didn't really matter. And we managed to get, not quite all critical, but I'm pretty sure we got double S. Which is nice. Yeah, all of these are ultimate scores. Kinda easy ultimate scores. So that's kind of a trend that I can observe in this. Kind of easy there overall. If they're field scores rather than the battle scores, I suppose. Let me take a quick look at this, actually. Might be a good time. Let me go back to the title theme, I guess, which is... This is actually the title screen theme from Final Fantasy V, I think. It's a remix of that. Trying to remember all the many remixes are. Gosh. Also missing the little chibi sayings that the characters do. Oh no. Oh, I mean, who even are the characters that are on screen right now? It's Reno Agaloof, who are like hiding off to the side there. There's Null and there's Terra. And now they're not saying anything, maybe because they're heading off to the side. Guess so. Oh, there you go. See, she said something. I don't know why she waited so long to say that, but... yeah, I think I'll try this real quick. And then try to figure out what else to play. I guess I'll do more field stages. Saw this. Well, hold on, let me back out for a second just so I can figure this out. If I do Imperial Army, yeah. The only other one left of the stages would be Chocobo theme that I haven't done in Ultimates. And I don't really want to fall into that hole if possible, so I don't think I'll be doing a whole lot. But hey, this is kind of fitting. The background of this particular stage reminded me of something. I was actually telling that person that I was talking about earlier that started playing Final Fantasy IV today. And that 2 and 4 are both kind of part of the era of Final Fantasy where they do plots and aesthetics that are just Star Wars, except not. I'm not actually sure which of those two games it's more visual in, because they're very, very similar in the writing aspects. Might be 2 actually, because 2 has a whole Rebel Army thing that you start out as part of. Yeah, you pretty much select any of the 8-bit soundtracks for this, you can kind of tell that I'm gonna try to do some weird stuff with the charts to make up for the fact that they loop so much. At least they loop it. They don't loop that much really, except Chocobo theme, which I will not do, but certainly loop a lot more noticeably than a lot of the other ones. Well, that was a pretty terrible time to get tripped up, but even there, of course I managed to make it to almost, I actually did make it to almost double S this time, almost halfway to double S. And here's how it usually goes when I note something like that. But let's see, I guess I'm just gonna keep doing this, just keep going through the mainline games, at least until I hit the end of them. And if there's any of these field stages that I haven't done in the higher difficulties, which is just like 2 out of 3. There's Crystal Cave, which I don't think they have that sound effect at the beginning in this version, do they? That they have in some versions of the And the soundtrack where it's the sound effect of them falling into the cave. No, they do. Okay, never mind. Probably need to find a version of this track that has that coded into it actually for my local playlist, since I don't think I have that on my local version of this track. It starts with the actual melody. But I think the chase has it. Yeah, actually managed to get a perfect feature sound that time. Don't know if I've missed a note so far, but I feel like every time you mention something like that, it's just jinxing it. And if I somehow manage to get a feel of those perfect chains during this, I will take it. Can make up for, since this is kind of related to the chase and what I do there. All those times in which I've, like, nearly perfect runs ruined by something stupid. Well, that was indeed a perfect chain. There you go. It's even almost triple S rank. Like this close. What else have I missing from this? There's Crystal Cave, there's Eternal Wind, which is the overworld theme. There's Saronia, which is definitely much farther along in this game than I ever got. Pretty sure this is another game where I just kind of stopped for no good reason. Pretty sure in this game I made it as far as High Castle, and I never really kept going. Just the beginning of that dungeon. I don't know. I think actually from some recent very quick forays into the Famicom version of this with the translation patch, it actually is as hard as I thought it wasn't, and they actually made it much harder in the 3D remake, but now apparently it is that hard in the original version too, if you don't spend time grinding. Which I kinda don't want to do, in the beginning of the game at least, because of the whole paranoia where if you want to min-max your health, can't really do it with the jobs that they give you very early in the game. You have to wait until you have better ones. Which, I mean, I could also just say, fuck it, just disregard that, but I don't know. FF3 is definitely on the all the way back in the back burner at this point, though. The other crap that I decided to have active and try to move out of before I do anything else like that. But one day for certain. I think I can, at least of the ones that exist at this point, I can probably say that it's not a crazy goal to play through one way or another every Final Fantasy mainline number that has been released up until now, until this point in time. Okay, I got a good. Does that mean I'm gonna get a black chocobo? Okay, no. I'm pretty sure the worst chocobo that you can get is the red chocobo, but I'm not even certain of like what the actual requirements are for triggering that if you have to miss stuff during the feature zone or have to miss something right after. Seems pretty inconsistent. Times that I have seen it show up. What triggers that? Generally, if you do bad during the feature zone, you get the black chocobo, which is the second worst one. shit, was it another perfect chain that got very close to also being triple S? Oh yes, it sure was. That's nice. I think I also want to listen to another one of the tracks that I haven't done yet from F3 that I haven't done yet in this game. There's this one. I'm not entirely certain that that isn't just like a very short loop. And if it is a very short loop, I don't know if I want to like go through the whole thing. Okay, it's not as short of a loop as I thought it was, but even so. I guess just for the sake of closure I'll do it. Of being thorough. Saronia or Salonia, I guess. If they put it as Saronia in this version, that's what I'm inclined to believe is the proper romanization. Did you know that if you put the what is it called, the katakana version of the name Scarmiglione from Divine Comedy into Google Translate, it'll render it as Skolmillion, which is exactly what it was mistakenly translated into when that name for an enemy was put into Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. Scarmiglione became Skolmillion in that game. I wonder how old that has been like a thing in automated translation software for Japanese. Because if it was a thing back in like 2003, then I'm definitely inclined to believe that that's what happened to cause that blunder. That doesn't even really have anything to do with this track, it's just something else, but, you know, romanization that came into my mind. It's the whole Saronia-Salonia situation that I'm not even sure about myself, but see, right now we're gonna get a black chocolate, but not a red one. Like, I think you maybe have to like fuck up right after the chocobo transformation happens to get the red one, but even that I'm not sure about. Maybe you just have to fuck up that much more in the feature zone itself, but I just haven't seen that happen to that degree. I'm pretty sure that the requirements for the red chocobo to appear are also not explained very well in like FAQ pages for this game from what I've seen, so that one shall continue to be a mystery. And it's kind of contradictory because, you know, I guess the way that the chocobos are handled in this game is only meant to represent their speed, but I mean, if you played Tactics, actually, Final Fantasy Tactics, that's a very good example of why you don't fuck around with red chocobos. I think that's actually where they might have come from to begin with. The red chocobos in the Evilist games kind of became a meme because the red chocobos in Tactics can fuck you up with an attack called Choco Meteor that has insane range, and they can just pretty much spam as much as they want, and it hurts like a bitch. And because the red chocobos also have like the sort of chocobo innate skill to be able to move a whole lot when they have the opportunity to move, they'll pretty much just like run to a hard to reach corner of the map and spam Choco Meteor whenever you encounter them. And funnily enough, I'm pretty sure in Tactics there's a scripted story encounter that you have to complete to continue with the story, but the enemies within are randomized, and it's just a bunch of chocobos every time, but the color that the chocobos are is randomized. And I'm pretty sure that if you read FAQs for that part, they'll pretty much tell you if you get more than one red chocobo during that fight, just reset. And I'm pretty sure I can attest to that from what my experience was going through that part of the game. Unlike, of course, whether or not I am able to attest if this background is accurate to this part of FF3, since I've never gotten this far into it. I mean, I'm pretty sure this part would be like close to the end of the game anyway, Crystal Tower. Maybe even Final Dungeon, from what my understanding is of the way that sort of endgame part is laid out. But I think that also means that we've done all of the field tracks from 3, so if I were to do more, 1 to 4, yeah, okay. Which is definitely, well, here's another game that I've already been quite thorough with, but I wanna do a few tracks from this one regardless, because I'm gonna do Red Wings to start Big Bangers. Because of the whole, you know, kind of tangential, but also not really connection between Star Wars and at least these two specific Final Fantasy games, 2 and 4. There's one very specific aspect of 4 that sort of creates a connection to the tropes and the beats from Star Wars, and that is Golbez, pretty much. Try to explain anything about that character, you will pretty much immediately see what the connection is if you know anything about Star Wars, I think, but I am really fucking up with these slide triggers, but if you don't focus on that, like, pretty much the entire time, there. I think 2 would be the one that probably has a better parallel to the story of Star Wars. I don't know how I can elaborate on that any further without just going on a 20-minute tangent, so I think I'll give it a rest. I can definitely see why I didn't get higher than an S on this track before. I feel like there's a part of me that's thankful that I probably never got this in a quest medley, assuming that I didn't. I really have no way of knowing at this point. Shit. And I guess at this point I'm actually gonna be kind of thankful if I don't die before the end of the track. Which may very well happen. Just can't tell. Literally right at the end. Well, that's unfulfilling. Still got an S right, but fail. Is that technically? No, I was gonna say, is that somehow technically a higher score than I managed to get last time? Let's. Oh, I actually wanted to play the song again, but I did the thing too quickly. Let's try that again. I mean, I've obviously managed to clear it before. How can I possibly run away without reaching that point once again? And then figure out another track from this game to do. Shit. I feel like the hardest part if they do like a, you know, exactly like in this track, of not messing up those long strings of notes. Figure out exactly which button stroke is the one that breaks with the pattern, and you have to start doing the slide. Not at that time, at least. If Riku's RIP. I'm not terribly concerned when it comes to that in this situation, or like just stay alive. Alright. I don't remember if I'm pretty sure we got a black chocobo as well last time, but I want to say that at least this time they didn't break the chain. So I'm definitely willing to take that. Okay. At least this time we can probably see survival. I don't remember if we managed to cycle through all of the characters in the roster of the team that I have right now beforehand, but would not be surprised if that did happen, considering that. Yeah. Actually got to speak with the Theatrhythm this time. Okay, apparently this time actually I managed to get the high score that I did in like all the 3 times or something that I played this track so far. Which is, I mean, to be fair, probably more than can be said for a bunch of the other tracks. I want to do at least 1 or 2 more from this game before I sort of move on with the answers. What would it be? I guess I could do Tower of Sot. That's like... I'm pretty sure Tower of Sot and Within the Giant both have like the Star Wars background aesthetic. Like, I suppose that's one aspect that is a parallel to Star Wars that wasn't seen as much in FF2 versus 4, which was the aesthetics that are like the dungeons that look like the Death Star. There was a lot more of that in 4, I feel. Oh shit. Good. I'm pretty sure, even though I'm pretty sure that I never quite got to the point of it, like anything in FF4 actually resembling the Death Star to the point of making the plagiarism that obvious. Oh, shit, okay. I was not expecting to not break the chain there, but then I did there. These are some interesting, or at least were interesting combinations of notes. And an interesting time for the good old slowdown to happen as well. I feel like this track is a pretty good demonstration of how much the stupid slide triggers are my weakness in this game. Slide triggers being the arrow ones. Don't know if I'll make it to the end. I'll survive the one. Oof, okay. I was expecting that one last hit that I took to be the end of it, but I'll take it. Alright. What else could I do? Could do a little bit more of to Within the Giant, I guess. I didn't do too terribly in that one if I managed to get to double S. Yeah, I reckon that would be a good one to be like a send-off for this game. For the time being. And also the few that I did from, you know, 2. Actual 2. That's my sort of very tenuous and undedicated acknowledgement at the fact that May the 4th was today. The 4th May. I'm pretty sure you don't see this kind of background when you go into the Giant of Babel in, you know, the actual game of Warlord. You see the same kind of background as the Tower of Sod, which is like a Death Star sci-fi type thing. And speaking of like Death Star stuff and just specific stuff from Star Wars that's seen in Final Fantasy games, I mean, there's the obvious Biggs and Wedge thing, but I don't think that started happening until 6, which is another game that I was about to mention, because in 6, the scene in the like evil Magitech factory in the Empire capital, where you get dumped down into like the garbage area and you have to fight the 2 Vespers there. It's like a really obvious parallel to the garbage disposal scene from the Death Star in the first Star Wars movie. I guess I brought another game to mix of Star Wars or Final Fantasy stuff that references Star Wars directly, pretty much, but and by extension any other game that involves characters called Biggs and Wedge, but if you don't ignore stuff like that, that's pretty much just superficial. I guess just that brings the grand total of games that I can think of that reference it in more concrete ways to 3. There's probably more, but these are just the ones I can think of. And maybe I suppose it was additively an improvement to the critical charter, which is nice. Now what else can I do though? Are there any field stages from 5 that require my attention? Not really. Much I like this game. What about 6? Did I already do all the ones in 6? Yeah, I get the feeling that I probably did all, like, most of the field stages already. On most of these games. Chase, aka Crazy Motorcycle Chase, there's Highwind Takes the Skies, there's Judgment Day. Which I haven't done this with an expert so much, so I'll knock that one out now. Judgment Day, aka not the original final boss theme from the first Trauma Center game, which became the only first encounter with final boss theme in the remake of Trauma Center 1. Well, no, in FF7 it's the final dungeon theme, I'm pretty sure. Another of the few FF games that I've actually managed to beat legitimately. And actually see all the way through to the end. Might have been the first one actually, I don't quite remember. Yeah, maybe, because I get the a vague remembrance that I definitely played this quite a long time ago, like nearly 10 years ago now. And I want to say that I also played the first Final Fantasy on NES, but with cheats so I could go through it quickly. But I think that was after I went through FF7. Which, yeah, I would probably make FF7 the first game in the series that I actually managed to finish, and finish legitimately at that. I don't know if I will ever be able to add the legitimately part of that postulation to my run of FF1, because, or at least on the NES version, I feel like you would need a lot more patience than I would have right now to actually beat the original unaltered version of FF1. But, I mean, I did manage to go through FF2 and beat that one legitimately, so you never know. And would you know it, I almost managed to get an old critical on this one. Not quite though. Wonder how many notes I missed, probably just one. Nope, 3. Even though I want to see that getting 2 9s on the left seems a little high for missing more than one note, but I don't know, I guess. arrhythmia. What about 8? Have I done all the field themes from 8 yet? Probably not. Just right on, which is like the... how shall I call it? Leadership theme. Don't fish on horizon or water on an expert. Pretty sure I've done all the ones in 9. What about 10? Pretty sure there's oh no, I have it, I guess. Servants of the Mountain Ultimate. Just looking to do as many ultimates as I can right now, I guess. So my completion of FF7 counters legit if I use the trick to get my Chocobo Infinite Stamina in the races. You know, I want to say that... I don't know. Because I do remember doing like the big grind to get the gold Chocobo and... you know, get that summon before I beat that game. It was a pain, but I don't remember if I cheated for that. It would be pretty difficult to verify, given that not only was that many years ago, but it was also completely off-screen. I'll tell you soon, I will come in. Probably the last half hour or so of this. Oh shit. It's a bit of an unfortunate timing for that slowdown. And the unfortunate slowdown of my brain in some of these. You know, I'm pretty sure outside of playing FF10, I never really listened that far into this track. Oh shit. I wasn't even sure if it went that far anywhere, besides the things that you hear for like the first 20 measures or something. I suppose it does, at least a little bit. Well, we went through the entire team roster, but also made it to the end, which is nice. But yeah, if you got like any... you can do like the command that's in the stream title to link here to the page, the wiki page that has all the tracks in this game, so if there's anything in particular that you'd like to request, you can do that. Just gonna try to figure out which of these field tracks I want to go through right now, though. Pretty much anything that I haven't already done on the highest difficulty, except this. This is what like one of my nemesis from this game, I think. Launch, which sounds very similar to... I want to say challenge. Maybe if you listen to them, or assault. No, probably assault. One I was thinking of. Don't think I would want to be tasked with trying to tell these two apart. At least during a sort of high-speed context like a Final Chase. I already did the ones from 9, I'm pretty sure. And I actually did most of the ones from 11 as well, because of Chantoto being like one of the characters in this game that you want to level up for a thing. Giza Plain Sword. I was thinking about Masquerades Resent. Here's a game that is kind of one of the very rare examples of me liking a good chunk of the soundtrack without liking the game itself that much. I'll try Giza Plains. don't remember exactly what this track does, but pretty sure there's a part of Dalmascaster's Sand that I, for a while, thought was actually a part of this track. I actually like both of these a good bit. Shit. Well, such is the nature of this very extremely legitimate medium. This track actually goes on for quite a bit if it took it this long to get to the chocobo feature zone. Yeah, I actually had pretty much forgotten what most of the later part of this track sounds like. It's a lot of I want to say a few things that I was maybe expecting that don't actually correspond to this track at all, but to Dalmascaster's Sand. Will I at least be able to get that double S rating though, even with all my fuck-ups? Yes, I will. That's nice. So the final change where I get more into chord tracks. It's 3 tracks made as mentions, so we got hard tracks. If I submit enough things, it'll be impossible for an episode to go by without playing a song from a game I submitted. Well, maybe in Final Chase. I mean, whoever is responsible for Persona 5 must sure be proud. Having a game with a single most tracks in Chase in a way that pretty much surpasses any potential limitations for tracks from a single game that have been discussed. But after you go down from the big numbers, it's kind of like a weird zone between the ones that only have 5 and the ones that have even less, even though they're theoretically capable of having more. I'll try to do this one. Just knock out a couple of tracks in this zone that apparently I never did on the Blue Expert mode. But yeah, I mean... I guess you could say that what's happening right now with VGMC is a pretty good parallel, or just a pretty good consistency demonstration with the way that I usually approach sharing video game music with other people, in that, and particularly chasing that my intention, at least for a significant part of things, is to present certain things that I like that I don't perceive a lot of people knowing about necessarily. Well, before I move on into stuff that I know people will recognize and will probably have a bit of an agreement with, as far as just, yeah, I know this and I like it. I also want to have a decent chunk of stuff that's just like, yeah, I know about this and I think it's pretty cool. But you probably don't. Allow me to present it to you, which is also kind of ironic when you consider how I find out about new things and end up liking them, but that's happened both in both iterations of VGMC that I've done so far and in the chase. And in a bunch of guessing games that I've done in various servers, but that's more of an ongoing thing. Where it's happened enough times, I want to imagine that there's not really a point in trying to pin down any one specific location. and hopefully will keep happening. And probably will happen before too long in a way that is actually tangentially related to this thing that I'm doing right now. Also, boy, I can actually look at the chat now, let's see what's going on. When trying that sort of thing in the past, you're being accused of trying to stand out and be special beyond the showcasing things others are likely to witness. That accusations are true. I don't think I've seen that nearly as much as I've seen. Pretty much the opposite of that in the chase, or what I would see as the opposite of that, which is, you know, you're not allowed to say that you don't like this popular track that other people do like. I don't even know what this track sounds like, but I guess we're gonna find out. I've apparently played it at least 2 times before. I think me saying this right now is kind of ironic because, like so many of the tracks in this game, were pretty much, when I first played it, turned into, wow, one day I'll actually play this game that these tracks are from, and I'll see the tracks in their actual context that they're supposed to be in, and it'll be great. And that pretty much has come true for a lot of them, but I don't know if it ever will for this one in particular. And it's even more ironic when you consider that that's pretty much become my general philosophy at this point, which is I pretty much indispensably need to have played whatever game a track is from in order to be able to fully appreciate it. But I guess that doesn't entirely discount the fact that I grew to like a lot of these songs just from playing this game in particular before I played a lot of the actual Final Fantasy games way back in the day, because this technically became the game that features these tracks as part of it, in which I experienced them for the first time. I'd say that still counts in that sort of roundabout way. Alrighty. Let's see if I can find a couple more of these, a couple more of them. Ultimate scores from the main line. So I can bump it up again. And then probably end off on a couple of very special tracks, which are only available as DLC for this game, I'm pretty sure. Let's see what we got past this point. Do we have, do we overtly like most of the field tracks from 13? It did, those didn't others except for Dust to Dust, so I guess we'll try that one. Okay, I guess once again they managed to pull off that thing where the background for this level is pretty accurate to where this part of the game, or the part of the game that corresponds to this track. So boy, I see that scrolling all the way there. Unfortunately, I can't really look at that at this precise moment. I think you even see a little robot in the background that you can like repair and give tasks and what have you. When you get to this part of the game. Also the stupid highway that you fight the second form of Big Face Man on. It's not quite as punishing as the first time. And after that, I'm pretty sure you actually go back to the other planetoid of wealth thingy to finish the game. Which I'm pretty sure is the big thing that you can see in the background here. And I'm pretty sure there's something that I was talking about earlier about stuff being hard to explain in some of these games, but I feel like the plot and the universe of the FF13 games is one of the hardest ones to explain if you don't know what the fuck is going on. It felt like there was a lot of stuff put into it by the people who actually wrote that universe. Like, look, it's a big fanfare of the new tale of the crystals in Latin, but then pretty much most of the player base, I'm pretty sure, just ended up being lukewarm about those games. Alright, let me move this window around so I can read what this is. It's fine to not like a track and I get the notice. Time to go through and get context for every piece of music, but to some degree there's a big sharing aspect. I think there is a big sharing aspect to music in the chase, and I am occasionally bothered by sheer refusal to participate in that sharing. Not that it happens up though. I mean, yeah. I mean, I say that a lot of the time, at least in my personal case, I consider it a necessity to have knowledge of where in a game a certain track plays in order to, well, not just have knowledge, have experience of the in-game context for a track to be able to fully appreciate it. And that is true, but there's definitely a lot of stuff that I've heard pretty much exclusively through the chase that I definitely come to like. That I probably wouldn't have found out about, but I'd like to think of that more of a happy accident. I think I'll do a couple more and then do it like no mind. Because I don't know if I'm ever gonna play through Turok Rage Wars on the N64, but Wicked Dance sounds kind of nice, I think. I mean, maybe if they did the same thing that they did with like the other Turok games, which is ported to PC, but I've had enough experience, especially in like the past couple of years, I think, with fucking analog stick gaming in first-person shooters that I don't want to do any more of that if I don't have to. Like, it's actually really great that they came out with those like PC-specific versions, or how do I phrase this without it sounding terrible? Those special like emulated versions of GoldenEye and Perfect Dark that you can actually control the keyboard and mouse on PC. Which I definitely want to play through on stream at some point. But like trying to do any of the fucking, like as someone who's played the Majora's Mask Run Majora a few times, trying to do anything with the actual stick in that game, stick gaming, like the shooting galleries, it's just pain. And whenever I do that, which is not very frequent by any manner of speaking, or however I put that, however I close that statement without it sounding like gibberish. I don't do the Majora's Mask Randomizer very frequently, but when I do, I always take special care to make sure that none of those things that you get from those parts of the game are required to beat it, because I just don't want to do them. Also, thank God for the, you know, the Wii versions of all the Metroid Prime games, particularly 2. How 2 and the like little things that they put into it, quality of life stuff that they added, like always having the Springle makes some of the boss fights in certain parts of the game so much easier, because they were just the parts that they make easier were parts that were just completely unnecessary in the original. only say so much how I feel about Prime because I already played all those games on here years ago. Alright. Well, that's gonna be the best thing that I ever did in that track, just because I ever did that track in that difficulty. Just me, I found people only want to like maybe will listen to their music in the chase, but refuse to learn other people's music intentionally. They don't want it to boost or hate it, etc. The tracks get stuck at 7 or 8 pledges. I mean, I can have a system where I will pretty much pledge almost anything in the chase once a certain condition is met, which will pretty much guarantee that I pretty much will pledge nearly anything in the chase once that happens, which is before it would expire. People hook the track to intentionally prevent things. They don't like or care about getting in. Maybe not cancel blues with Master will be, but they're doing if you remember attempting to learn it like only learning Kingdom Hearts and Pokemon. Oh. Some people just want to play the chase as best they can with the skill increase they get through the repetitive familiarity and not practicing or playing in the chase, but do that or not complain about it. Like Kirby. I mean, I guess. I don't think there's any, I don't think there's very many examples of stuff from the chase where I would say that straight up I have trouble remembering it after just based on repetition, but it's not like very specific things. I guess I'll do this as the final field track, by the way, before I move on to the... There's a couple of DLC tracks in this that I want to do. What was I saying? There's not a lot of groups of tracks, I guess, that I would find it very difficult to learn, even after listening to them many times, but the thing is that for me those groups of tracks are apparently considered popular by a lot of people, and even though I have made a somewhat conscious effort to practice some of them, I still find it way harder to remember them than most of the other stuff that's in the chase. I guess I can say that one of them is Pokemon battle tracks. Another one is Sonic tracks, just any of them. And there's one more group of stuff like that in particular that I could name, but I suppose I will refrain from that at this time. One or two more actually that I can very easily think of. And I'm going to say that with any of these there's always the possibility of me being able to improve on that by actually playing those games, but it's definitely one of those things that I find difficult to say for sure. I'm just kind of in zen mode right now, don't mind me. Not that this is that difficult, but you know. I like being able to maintain a good rhythm. shit, that was almost triple S. Pretty sure it was a perfect chain though. Okay, I mean, I guess this would actually be a good example of a game where I didn't think I would be able to get around to playing enough of a game that I could tell, well, not tell anything, just kind of gain the kind of experience that I would have wanted for being able to tell tracks from it and just recognize them and contextualize them, but I'm gonna go ahead and go down here. And look, there's more stuff in the chase in this because of the DLC stuff. There's play the default, there's near, and more importantly, there's this. Even though they try to be oldie calling. Probably should have read a little bit of more of a chat before I did that, but and if only I could call 2E popular. Only they would come up with an even newer version of this game so they could have tracks from Neo 2 in. I say that even though they have yeah, I'm pretty sure this was made way before they came out with 2 Final Remix. Like even in this version they only have 2 tracks from 2, even though in the Final Remix version there's like 100 plus of them. I'm pretty sure there would have been even like significantly more of them. If you count like all of the updated versions and not having like fucking live remix, which is like a weird cell phone card-based game or something like that. Which nevertheless is where some pretty bangery tracks like March On came from. And that got remixed in not in Final Remix in, I mean it probably did, but in Neo 2 is what I was trying to say. I'm sure this track wouldn't have sounded this crisp on the DS, but there's that part of me that always kind of wonders if I ever get around to hearing this far into it, just like kind of idling during the whatever parts of the walking scenes it plays in the DS version. The funny fact about this game is that I'm pretty sure I played it for the first time back in like, when was it? How old would I have been? Probably not very old. But I'm gonna say at least 8 years before I acquired it, acquired it as an actual physical copy. And definitely a lot more than, well, maybe not much. No, I'm pretty sure it was like 2 years after I did that the Final Remix version came out, so. But definitely something that I'm glad I did. Weird roller coaster loops. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Candy Crush was in the chase at one point before they purged like for 100 OSTs. I remember Candy Crush playing like chase 110ish. Oh boy. What does Candy Crush music sound like, I wonder? I would load into a game based somebody came out, so it can be really hard to tell. It's probably a rip off from without the community. I don't know how popular a cheese game is or how popular it is as a series. Well, me neither, but if you get into like niche stuff, then it's definitely like I guess I would consider video game music niche to a pretty considerable degree. And you go to like different communities that each follow like their own part of these niche, like apparently in Board 8, which was the first server I was in that actually ran guessing games and what have you. I can't try to remember who I'm supposed to call this thing. It's you and it's like apparently they really like stuff like trails in the sky and or just trails in general. I'm sure that's one of other games too. And Ease and Art and Alico. I don't really follow that stuff that closely, to put it in a sort of nice way. The point that I would say I'm definitely gonna recognize this easily. Ooh, fuck. Once again, the notes are showing up a little too fast after translations for me. Try to look away for 1 second. Can't believe I'm letting the twister down. Not how we beat the boss. I feel like we ought to be able to do better at this track, but didn't really have a chance to play it obsessively when I played this in the VS, even though well, it was technically a better performance than the first time I attempted that track. That's a bit surprising. I'm seeing good, and I may want to take a moment to rethink the games that I played, but mostly just came back to the same conclusion I got the first time. Have a first listen, I got missing, I could play this game with one hand. Yeah, I don't know. There's like way too many things. That's pretty much every time I see like a new RPG of any description that people are like, wow, this is good, you gotta play this. Like there's already too many things. Oh, hey, I guess this track is also in the chase. I could also do this. For me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna play this soon. I totally don't have like a bunch of other things that I either have made like a somewhat better assessment of before, or of what, fuck, did that completely backwards. I just want to start over since it's right at the beginning. Better assessment of how much dedication it's gonna take from me to get through these in a and actually, you know, see them through, not just drop them halfway. Even stuff that I start playing on my own that I feel like, yeah, I'm totally gonna be able to get through this. I like the beginning of this at least. I ended up dropping a lot of that, like Tales of Fantasia. Apparently there's more than one world map in that game, but I never saw more than one. Because it was a pretty clear example, at least, when I played it, of gotten this far, and I don't think it's really gonna be viable to get any farther without spending a lot of time grinding. also played like the very, very beginning of Xenogears, but I'm pretty sure I stopped it on purpose because I had the idea that, yeah, just kind of started as on a whim, and if I keep going, it's just gonna end up like that, so I better just save it for time when I have a stronger, clearer mindset of, yes, I wanna get through this entire game and not abandon it. That almost happened with Valkyrie Profile, strangely enough, which is my current soundtrack that's, you know, up for submission in Chase. But it was kind of helped along by the fact that I actually did it on stream and not like at any other time, I think. And the things that I had to do to like actually get to the end of that game, but it seemed too crazy, at least up until the fucking Bloodbane fights. But even that I managed to get through because by that point I knew that it was like right at the end, so like literally another 20 minutes of gameplay or something after that to beat the game. At that point I was like, no fucking way am I gonna let this stop me. I haven't found a way to min-max, I'm pretty sure, by virtue of getting through that fight at all, but I just didn't end up going much farther than that to be the... like to do the bonus dungeon or anything like that. That game even left me with a sensation that I probably want to play through it again and then check out the sequels, but that's another thing where I might get to that soon, I might get to that in 5 years, who knows. I want to give them a try, but I tend to not have a patience where I'm at all. I'll get to that 4th game. Boy. I mean, yeah. If there's like that much of a volume that doesn't, you know, already know you have some investment in. It's definitely the... yeah, that's probably the boat that I would be into. Like that's already happened to me enough times. You know, like the Trials games are pretty standard as far as character skill ratings in between positions. Tales games I have not played any of those, but I remember hearing people like that had to play Symphonia one day. Yeah, I mean the only one that I really heard about when I was like a kid was Symphonia, because that one came out on the GameCube, but then my own obsessive fixation on seriation has me like oh, I haven't done Battle with Magus and this is an opportunity. My own obsessive fixation with seriation has me like, well, there's no way I'm touching any of these, at least until I've done Fantasia all the way through to the end. And I feel like I could have said technically there is a save file for that on the PlayStation version, which is what I probably would default to if I tried that I could go back to, but I'm pretty sure that if I did have a save file for that, it would have been lost in the unfortunate hard drive incident, so... But if I were to go back at this point, I feel like I would definitely feel justified by just, I don't know, using Game Shark or something to cheat. Just speed the level ups way up. Which I technically cheated a little bit when I did shit. I did the end of Valkyrie Profile with the Bloodbane fight, but it didn't really make a difference, so I didn't really consider that necessarily being an impactful use of cheats, if that makes sense. They were just like increase my health, but that didn't matter when the gimmick of that boss was that it can just do party wipes every fucking turn. Actually, come to think of it, this track that we're hearing right now is one of the tracks that I think is up for consideration in VGMC. It has like 3 supports right now. Wonder how it'll do. I think people also brought up Secret of the Forest from Chrono Trigger. And then some people are like, you know, the same kind of distortive popularity bias where it's, you know, how come people aren't supporting this one? That's so weird. Boy, am I gonna be able to survive this though. Okay, I did. Yeah, didn't even quite manage to get to the S rank that time. Still an A rank though, till I got us drops. Okay, I mean all this stuff that's been said about those topics pretty much just tells me that the smartest thing for me would just be to keep doing what I've been doing this whole time, which is I guess I'll do Frog's Team as well. How many Chrono Trigger tracks are in this? There's also a fucking Live Alive track in Megalomania too. I think I'll do Megalomania for the meme and then probably end up on Frog's Team. Wonder how this will go, but yeah. At this point I feel justified in the way that I've approached things, which is to share at least a little bit of what I think could use more exposure. Wonder who the boss of this stage would even turn out to be. Get to see that. Oh, it's chaos. I suppose that makes some degree of sense when you consider who the final boss of Live Alive is, or however you say that. Pretty sure it's supposed to be. I think based on the katakana it would be Live Alive, but the inconsistency of English pronunciation sure is a thing. Making important things like that end up with time publicly advertising bias. I wonder if I've been more interested in participating in multiple separate polls that try to avoid those biases really good. I mean, sure, but pretty sure they have, like the rules they have prohibit stuff like what happens in the chase all the time, like, I'll give you a vote for this if you give me a vote for that, like, if you get caught doing that, I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. So that will probably has some effect, but I don't know. Like, this is only like the second time that I'm doing anything in the DLC, but pretty much my objective from the beginning, both times, has been I know I'm not gonna win, but I wanna let as many people as possible know about these tracks that I feel are good before I get down to like the more, I don't know, I don't want to say business-like, but I can't think of any other word. The more, okay, now let's make a realistic assessment of what can and can't actually happen. And that probably will be my same mindset that I have from here on. I didn't quite have that precise mindset the first time that I did this year, and I feel like it worked out pretty alright. I say yes, it's only been going on for like 4 days or something. Come to think of it, yeah. like the big rush of new stuff introduced in nominations from people who are gonna bother to have more than 3 days worth would have happened about an hour and a half ago. For today. Oop. So we'll probably take a look at that before going to bed. Made a poll for each year. What is the best video of this one year? We need to do stuff that really could go back in the previous years. To wait more than what was nominated so people get people to look into the stuff. I don't know. I feel like not necessarily able to. Oh shit. Actually, it covered over this track and I was trying to remember, why does it sound a little familiar? It's because this fucking track came up like a lot of times when I did a bunch of quest medleys to unlock characters in this. Looks really this. Not being played except in basic. I guess I'll do this one too. And then I think there's just like a bunch of... There's a lot of saga tracks on the top part of the DLC stuff, and I don't know any of them. I have no context for any of them. But they just kept coming up on quest medleys as well. So I think this will definitely be the final track that I do for now. I'm gonna have to make a little bit of time to have dinner before I go to sleep, so... Oh dear. Fuck. You know, I feel like Swivel is one of those tracks from the chase where I hear the beginning a lot of times, but I rarely hear past the beginning, so... So this kind of middle part feels weird hearing it. And yeah, come to think of it, Secret of Mana is yet another one of those, not Trials of Mana, but Secret of Mana is one of those games that can definitely toss into the pile of stuff that I tried and got fairly far into, but never actually beat. I didn't really have like a technical reason why I would have stopped playing it. Pretty much just got up until the point, if I remember, because this was definitely many years ago. It must have been like middle school when I did that. Got up to the point where you get like the ability to fly around the world map, and that's where I stopped because I had no idea where to go. In spite of the fact that I was following a walkthrough. Definitely caught my attention back in the day just by virtue of being one of those RPGs that were literally examples of being like an action RPG where you have your RPG stuff, but it isn't just turn-based. Definitely more partial towards those, but at least most of the time. And here we could take a look at the museum, or we can take a look at the... Well, if you just go to the general museum menu, the remix that's here, I'm pretty sure is Historia Crux from 13.2. Just for the record. You can check out the collectible cards that you get in this game. You also get like a new version of Sid Hayes from FF3. Brilliant inventor who can use the Wheel of Time to create an airship. I don't remember that Wheel of Time part. Did Robert Jordan sign off on this? Used to wield his skill for King Arthur, but no longer. He is always merry and loves justice, and not as much as he loves his wife. Also, he follows you around, but doesn't do anything except in the 3D remakes, I'm pretty sure. I think that goes for all the guests in FF3. Look, got a shiny version of Aerith, but not a super shiny one. Got a non-shiny version of Sedan. And Ultra Platinum. I mean, even if you play this game a whole lot, it's actually kind of difficult to fill in like at least one version of every card. Unless you're trying on purpose. I guess we haven't seen both here before based on that. As this pirate in disguise, this dashing leading man goes wherever his heart desires in the straw. He loves freedom more than any other, yet he's bound by a past heavier than most. In his eyes burns a fierce new determination. Also, you can unlock him in the PSP version of FF Tactics, I'm pretty sure, but I didn't play that one. Him and like, I want to say 2 or 3 other characters from games that came out after the original of that game. We have like all 3 versions of Ramps, don't we? Let's see. Yeah, we do, so definitely seen that bio before. There's the characters from Type 0, which I don't know if I'm ever gonna get around to playing as well. I mean, maybe if it looks like it might be able to get into Chase. There's a mystery empty spot here, what could go here? Maybe another thing from Advent Children, since that's what, right? This is from Advent Children, this is Canada's Crisis Core. So maybe Bahamut's Sin from Advent Children, I'm pretty sure that's a thing that you can get here. I don't know if that's where it would go though. Maybe I already have it elsewhere. And we're missing a card, probably an FF5 villain, based on the placement. I'm guessing it would be Gilgamesh, because I don't see him anywhere else. Yeah, it's probably that. Apparently not much new. There's Cactuar, the rare Cactuar. And the rare Curl. What would you say that? And something missing here, I guess I'll figure out what that is. Also the versions of King of Hemoth. Isn't that nice? I don't know what would go here, honestly. Spent unnecessarily long time playing Trials of Mana, although it's a middle-aged enough mana someday if no one else did it first. You know, I played multiple Mana games and haven't finished a single one, and by multiple I mean 2, I'm pretty sure. Which would be Final Fantasy Adventure and Secret of Mana. And just like with Secret of Mana, I didn't have any particularly good reason for stopping Final Fantasy Adventure other than just didn't feel like it at the time. I also played like 30 minutes or something of the remake, which was Sword of Mana on Game Boy Advance. That one felt pretty different from what I recall. I don't know if there's anything else that I would like to look at, probably not. Sure, they might do Slime Rancher, Luigi's Mansion, something like that. You know, I feel like Luigi's Mansion could be good, but also don't know if there's like that many tracks that are like a big standout from that I can think of right off the bat. There probably are. I just haven't played it in a long time. I think I even got that as one of the things that I got to rebuild my emulation folder though. Which is perfectly fine because I also own the game physically, I'll have you know. I mean, the credits theme from Luigi's Mansion is pretty good from what I remember. And I'm pretty sure some people who are into like the alternative electronic stuff like the boss themes. But yeah. This sure has been Theatrhythm Final Fantasy. What if I play Peak Logica next? That game that never got translated officially. And it's actually a giant pain trying to figure out the correct way to apply the patch to this wrong version of it, but I managed to do it. Oh boy, let's see if I still remember anything about how to do battles in this game. Do one of you fuckers have the calculator thing? Probably not, right? No. I'm sure this will be perfectly alright. Very special world wherever you OST, I don't know what now is evil. I tend to think of OSTs, I don't know, but are very mainstream as necessary evil to keep the game welcoming to new players. I mean, I guess. Like how Sonic Heroes is apparently being boosted in because someone thought that there wasn't enough Sonic in, even though that's one of the series that has the most games in the chase. Are from 5? Yeah, I think they are from 5. They're from like the water tower. The ones in the front row here. Anyway, let's see if we can get to the end of the this. I still remember how this works. I get a little bit of extra health if you do it in that mode. Do one of you have cure? Yes, you have cure. Oh, well, that didn't do anything. Well, that's alright, let's just murder our way to survivability. I'm pretty sure that even if I complete this fight, I'm not gonna be able to get any of the like bonus stars because of the requirements that I don't meet. But we'll try nevertheless. Let's see what the super abilities are. They are... Here's weak damage to random foes, damage to one foe. Fire damage to all foes, restores PP. Probably use that one. I'll do this one first. This kind of reminds me of how the Final Fantasy Tactics Switch. Gee, did I mention that I played through that one recently? Has like the cute chibi character art, and yet it has all those dark themes of war and betrayal. And my question is this fucker, going to resurrect these enemies? I figured you might. He's gonna kill them all again, or it will. I think I attempted this fight before, but I couldn't actually pull it off. So we'll see.
I forgot I was Uber. Linux.
Oh boy. Wait, the fucking clock is ticking, so I can't really drop this, but yeah, thanks for the sub, Dr. Girlfriend. In XXLOL is what that was supposed to say, I think. Pull off any of these. What is Dolphin Blow again? I'll come into the just fucking around in the Picross version of Final Fantasy just to end things off. Damage one foe, inflicts stun for 2 turns, flips fortune fight. I guess let's try this. I'm still pretty sure that I used this many times, but I still don't know what the lips foes in flight thing means actually. I managed to get some health back at least, so depending on how this goes. Oh shit. Okay, only one of them explodes each turn at least. Let's use Karaga, I guess. Can we pick our target with... I think we can actually. Have to do this then. Marionette her. Yeah, you should also be able to... No. Well, it should have been able to use that if she still had enough charge for it, but she didn't because... I already used the other one and that used up charge. What a shame. So yeah, we might die. I haven't managed to pull off enough charge to use Kuraga again, even then I'm not sure that I would. But this. We have enough. Oh shit, 2 in a row. That's not good. least the other one didn't do it. No, we still don't have enough for Karaga, but we might if I just... Okay, well, it was right at the end, so we might be able to use it this turn. And we got the breaks, so I'm gonna have to do that again soon anyway. Hey, we're surviving. Use Karaga first, and then... Oh, I guess we're stuck in Brave, but probably need it anyway. One thing I like about Tactics is that the main character isn't forcibly plunged into saving the world from some massive end. Most of the story is very well off. He is very well off, and let's do this in bursts. Well, I should have used the special cure thing, but I guess we don't need it as badly right now. Actually, can use Holy if we stay in this mode anyway. If a bunch of these things blow up, then okay. Use it now, why not? Very well off, and through his experience in the game decides that acting in the way he does is the right thing to do, even though he could stop what he's doing and have a much easier and comfortable life. Yeah. Doing the wrong thing or nothing. But apparently that is not the honorable way. Let's see, I guess we're gonna be able to survive this fight at least. Can we use another one of these in the same turn? No, we cannot. Okay. Oh shit, there we go. Even though I'm pretty sure, like I said, that's not gonna give me anything new because we don't have a party from FF14 or without using abilities, which maybe that would have been possible, but I don't really want to redo it right now, so fuck it. It's time for me to actually bring this to a close. Hey, look, the doggo was lurking behind the game all along. And he's probably lurking somewhere behind me all along as well. I guess I'll bring back the old playlist, including this song that is called Trisection. I don't know if that actually could play in this random playlist that I set up. Pretty sure I didn't include this game in that. Where is it? This one. What will play if I just shuffle everything? It's something from Unavowed. Until near the end, that world-ending sort of motivation even appears. I think it's until near the end, but other stories see characters becoming heroes only because it's forced and then we didn't have to choose to do the fighting. The right thing it was do it or be dead. Kind of. I mean, yeah. I feel like the revelation of the final conflict and the sense that there's definitely no choice but to address it kind of go hand in hand when they do get introduced in that game though, but yeah, that theme of you gotta do it not because of being forced, but because it's the thing that should be done is definitely present in the first act at least, and most of the second act, because I'm pretty sure the big revelation in that game comes at the end of the second act. Oh shit, hold on, I'm like clicking around and doing things that I probably shouldn't. Part of the game is spent without that motivation. I want to say probably around 1/3 of the game or something like that. Speaking of which, what is playing right now? Oh, this is Valkyrie profile. Just like this sounds like, I'm not quite sure what this is, but this sounds a tiny bit like Tactics. I suppose there could be a bit of a similarity in at least a little bit of a sound there. Just before it gets to that part makes it more obvious that this is Valkyrie profile, but yeah, sure do hope to see that soon in the chase, but I think it's time for me to sign off. So I can have some dinner and unwind a little bit before I go to sleep, so yeah. Guess I'll maybe possibly try to do more streams and return to this being a somewhat regular thing in the future, because there's like even stuff that I was doing when the hiatus first came into play that I did not get around to finishing and that I would definitely like to, so one of which would be going up to the part of Chrono Cross that I was at before, which I I somehow haven't quite managed to do yet. I started another Chrono Cross file to do that, but I've only gone up to like Hydra Marshes. But in the meantime, I've gone through the entirety of Tactics, and I guess now I'm gonna beat Final Fantasy V completely before I even get around to catching up on Chrono Cross. So it's kind of funny how that works, isn't it? Who's this beautiful, gentle person on the screen right now? That is a good question. I think I got all of these from the same source, all the graphics that I currently have as the background for my stream, except the logo. But I don't remember if this was labeled. I could look very briefly and try to find out. This will only take a minute. I'm pretty sure if I look through these, I'm gonna find the lizard man. Sculpted head, which I'm pretty sure is labeled as Hashish Demon, yeah. I guess it's supposed to be from the Hashish Eater. Oh, this thing changed. Not entirely certain that... Well, maybe I will. Okay, it just says untitled. But I can say that, for whatever reason, the signature that you see on the corner of the screen there doesn't include the... Or maybe it does. Maybe I was misreading that now. It includes both the first and middle initial of the creator of this piece of artwork, but the first initial is kind of slyly camouflaged in with the second one. Didn't even notice at first. But yeah, that is where I will be living up, like I said. So yeah, I'll definitely try to do something. I don't know if I will do anything this week. I think I'll still be a bit busy with trying to figure other things out. But maybe there's a non-zero chance you might hear from me next week. I guess we'll see. I definitely don't have the... I'm gonna be clearing my throat every 5 minutes excuse anymore that I had for like a couple of months. Which is nice. Which I will figure things out and figure out exactly what those things will be when the time comes. Let me take a quick look at what's on the side here. Now would be a good time to... you know what, maybe not. I think I'll just head off for now. So yeah, you'll take it easy. Thank everybody for coming like always. Thanks for chatting, always great whenever people chat, and I will see you later. Isn't it funny how I forget a lot of things but still manage to remember that whole spiel? Okay, bye.